Hello students, now we are going to discuss some important topics in 4th lesson electromagnetic induction and alternating current. First one is about quality factor or Q factor. Definition. Q factor is defined as the ratio of voltage across inductor L or the capacitor C to the applied voltage at resonance. Once again I repeat, Q factor is defined as the ratio of the voltage across L or C to the applied voltage at resonance. Next, let us derive the expression for Q factor. The current in the series RLC circuit becomes maximum at resonance. Due to the increase in current, the voltage across L and C are also increased. This magnification of voltage at series resonance is called as Q factor. By the definition, Q factor can be expressed as Q factor is equal to voltage across L or C divided by applied voltage, which is equal to Im into XL divided by Im into R, which is equal to XL by R, which is equal to omega R L by R. Here, the omega R in the numerator is replaced by 1 by root of L into C. So that the Q factor equation will become 1 by root of L into C into L by R. After simplification, this equation will become Q factor is equal to 1 by R into root of L by C. The physical meaning is that Q factor indicates the number of times the voltage across L or C is greater than the applied voltage at resonance. Next, we are going to discuss about power in AC circuits. Now we are going to derive the expression for average power of AC. Power of a circuit is defined as the rate of consumption. It is given by the product of voltage and current. The alternating voltage and the alternating current in the series RLC circuit at a given instant is given by the relation V is equal to Vm sin omega t and I is equal to Im into sin omega t plus phi. Then the instantaneous power is given by the relation P is equal to V into I, which is equal to Vm sin omega t into Im sin omega t plus phi. So that P is equal to Vm Im sin omega t into sin omega t cos phi minus cos omega t sin phi. How it comes? We know that the relation for sin of A plus B is equal to what? Sin A cos B minus cos A sin B. From that relation only it arises. Hence P is equal to Vm Im into sin squared omega t cos phi minus sin omega t cos omega t into sin phi. Here the average of sin squared omega t over a cycle is said to be half, and that of the sin omega t and cos omega t is said to be 0. Thus the average power over a cycle can be written as P average is equal to Vm Im into 1 by 2 cos phi. Here 2 in the denominator can be written as root 2 into root 2. So that the equation becomes Vm by root 2 into Im by root 2 into cos phi. Here Vm by root 2 represents Vrms and Im by root 2 represents Irms. So that the equation can be written as P average is equal to Vrms into Irms into cos phi. Here Vrms into Irms is said to be apparent power and cos phi is said to be power factor. Next, some special cases are given. For purely resistive circuit, phi is said to be 0. So that cos 0 will become 1. Hence, the average power can be written as Vrms into Irms. For purely inductive or capacitive circuit, phi becomes plus or minus pi by 2, where cos pi by 2 will become 0. Hence, the average power will become 0. For series RLC circuit, phi is equal to tan inverse of XL minus XC divided by R. Hence, the average power can be written as Vrms into Irms into cos phi. For series RLC circuit at resonance, phi is equal to 0 and cos 0 will become 1. Hence, the average power will become Vrms into Irms. Here Vrms denotes root mean square voltage and Irms denotes root mean square current. Next one is about wattless current. Consider an AC circuit in which the voltage Vrms leads the current Irms by phase angle phi. Resolve the current into two perpendicular components such that Irms cos phi, this is the component along Vrms, and Irms sin phi, this is the component perpendicular to Vrms. Here the component of current Irms cos phi, which is voltage, is called active component. The power consumed by this component is written as Vrms into Irms into cos phi. This is known as watt-full current. The another component of current Irms sin phi, which has the phase angle of pi by 2 with the voltage, is called reactive component. The power consumed by this current is said to be zero. It is known as a wattless current. Once again I repeat, when the power consumed by the current is said to be zero, it is known as wattless current. Next one is about advantages and disadvantages of AC over DC. First, let us discuss about the advantages of AC over DC. The generation of AC is cheaper than that of DC. When AC is supplied at higher voltage, the transmission losses are small compared to DC transmission. AC can easily be converted into DC with the help of rectifier. These are the advantages of AC over DC. Next one is about disadvantages of AC over DC. Alternating voltages cannot be used for certain applications. For example, charging of batteries, electroplating and electric traction, etc. At high voltages, it is more dangerous to work with AC than DC. These are some disadvantages of AC over DC. So this is very important 3 mark. Next one is about oscillation in LC circuits. First, let us know about what are called LC oscillations. Whenever energy is given to a circuit containing a pure inductor of inductance capital L and a capacitor of capacitance capital C, the energy oscillates back and forth between the magnetic field of the inductor and the electric field of the capacitor. Thus, the electrical oscillations of definite frequency are generated. These oscillations are called LC oscillations. Once again, I repeat, what are called LC oscillations? Whenever the energy is given to a circuit containing a pure inductor of inductance capital L and a capacitor of capacitance capital C, the energy oscillates back and forth between the magnetic field of the inductor and the electric field of the capacitor. Thus, the electric oscillations of definite frequencies are generated. These oscillations are called LC oscillations. This diagram represents the LC circuit. Next, we are going to discuss about how the LC oscillations are generated. There are 7 stages we have to discuss about. Stage 1. Consider a capacitor is fully charged with a maximum charge Qm, so that the energy stored in the capacitor is maximum, such that the maximum energy stored in the capacitor can be expressed by the expression UE is equal to Qm squared by 2C. As there is no current in the inductor, UB will become 0. Therefore, the total energy is wholly electrical. Next one is stage 2. The capacitor now begins to discharge through the inductor that establishes the current I in clockwise direction. This current produces the magnetic field around and the energy is stored in the inductor, which is given by the relation UB is equal to Li squared by 2. As the charge in the capacitor decreases, the energy stored in it also decreases, and it is given by the relation UE is equal to Q squared by 2C. Thus, the total energy is the sum of electrical and magnetic energies. Next one, stage 3. When the charge in the capacitor becomes 0, its energy becomes 0, such that UE is equal to 0. In this stage, maximum current Im flows through the inductor and its energy becomes maximum such that UB is equal to LIm squared by 2. Thus the total energy is said to be wholly magnetic. Next one, stage 4. Even though the charge in the capacitor is 0, the current will continue to flow in the same direction. Since the current flow is in decreasing magnitude, the capacitor begins to charge in the opposite direction. Thus, a part of the energy is transferred from the inductor back to the capacitor. The total energy is the sum of the electrical and magnetic energies. Next one is stage 5. When the current in the circuit reduces to 0, the capacitor becomes fully charged in the opposite direction. Thus, the energy stored in the capacitor becomes a maximum and the energy stored in the inductor is said to be 0. So, the total energy is said to be wholly electrical. Next one, stage 6. This state of the circuit is similar to the initial state, but the difference is that the capacitor is charged in opposite direction. So, it will start discharge through inductor in anti-clockwise direction. The total energy is the sum of the electrical and magnetic energies. Next one is stage 7. The processes are repeated in opposite direction and finally the circuit returns to the initial state. Thus, when the circuit goes through these stages, an alternating current flows in the circuit. As this process is repeated again and again, the electrical oscillations of definite frequency are generated and these are known as LC oscillations. Next one is conservation of energy in LC oscillations. During LC oscillations, the energy of the system oscillates between the electric field of the capacitor and the magnetic field of the inductor. Although these two energies vary with time, the total energy remains constant such that U is equal to UE plus UB is equal to Q squared by 2C plus half Li squared is equal to constant. Once again I repeat, conservation of energy in LC oscillations. During LC oscillations, the energy of the system oscillates between the electric field of the capacitor and the magnetic field of the inductor. Although these two energies vary with time, the total energy remains constant such that U is equal to UE plus UB, which is equal to Q squared by 2C plus half Li squared is equal to constant. Next, let us discuss some special cases. Case 1. When the charge of the capacitor is Q is equal to capital QM and the current through the inductor is said to be I is equal to 0, in that case the total energy can be written as U is equal to QM squared by 2C plus 0 is equal to QM squared by 2C. This is equation number 1. This equation represents that the total energy is said to be wholly electrical. Next, case 2. When charge Q is equal to 0, current I is equal to capital Im, then the total energy can be written as U is equal to 0 plus half Lim squared, which is equal to half Lim squared. Here small I represents the rate of change of charge with respect to time, which can be written as I is equal to minus dq by dt, which is equal to minus d by dt of, here small q is replaced as capital Qm cos omega t. So when we differentiate Qm cos omega t, we will get Qm omega into sin omega t, which is equal to capital Im sin omega t. Here capital Qm omega is replaced as capital Im. Hence capital Im is equal to what? Qm omega, which is equal to Qm by root Lc. Here omega is replaced as 1 by root Lc. Hence U becomes U is equal to half L into capital Qm squared divided by Lc, which is equal to capital Qm squared divided by 2c. This is equation number 2. This equation represents that the total energy is said to be wholly magnetic. Case 3. When charge is equal to small q and current is equal to small I, then the total energy can be written as capital U is equal to small q square divided by 2c plus half Li square. Here small q is replaced by capital Qm cos omega t and small I is replaced by capital Qm omega sin omega t. So that the equation becomes capital U is equal to capital Qm squared cos squared omega t divided by 2c plus half L into capital Qm square omega squared into sin squared omega t. Here omega squared is taken as 1 by LC, so that the equation becomes capital U is equal to capital Qm squared cos squared omega t divided by 2c plus L into omega t divided by 2LC. Hence the equation becomes, here Qm squared by 2c is common, so you can take it outside. Hence the equation becomes capital U is equal to Qm squared divided by 2c into cos squared omega t plus sin squared omega t. We know that cos squared theta plus sin squared theta is equal to what? 1. So that the second term will become 1. Hence the equation becomes U is equal to capital Qm squared divided by 2c. This is equation number 3. From equation 1, 2 and 3, it is clear that the total energy of the system remains constant. Next one is about analogies between the LC oscillations and the simple harmonic oscillations. In the case of electromagnetic oscillations, the circuit consists of inductor and capacitor. In the case of mechanical oscillations, the circuit consists of spring and block. In the case of electromagnetic oscillations, the charge is taken as small q. In the case of mechanical oscillations, displacement is considered as small x. In the case of electromagnetic oscillations, the current I is equal to what? dq by dt. In the case of mechanical oscillations, the velocity is taken as v is equal to dx by dt. In the case of electromagnetic oscillations, the inductance is considered as capital L. In the case of mechanical oscillations, the mass of the object is considered as small m. In the case of electromagnetic oscillations, the reciprocal of the capacitance can be written as 1 by C. In the case of mechanical oscillations, the force constant is represented by the letter small k. In the case of electromagnetic oscillations, electrical energy can be written as q squared by 2c. In the case of mechanical oscillations, the potential energy can be written as kx squared by 2. In the case of electromagnetic oscillations, the magnetic energy can be written as capital Li squared divided by 2. In the case of mechanical oscillations, the kinetic energy can be written as half mv square. In the case of electromagnetic oscillations, the electromagnetic energy can be written as the sum of the electrical energy and the magnetic energy, which is equal to q squared by 2c plus half capital Li square. In the case of mechanical energy, the mechanical energy is said to be the sum of the potential energy and the kinetic energy, which is equal to half kx squared plus half mv square. Next, we are going to derive the expression for angular frequency of LC oscillations. The electromagnetic energy equation can be written as capital U is equal to q squared by 2c plus half Li squared is equal to constant. Next, we have to differentiate this equation. Before differentiating this equation, we have to find out what are constants. Here 1 by 2c and L by 2 are said to be constant, so we cannot differentiate the constant, so we have to keep the constant as it is. But the term q squared and I squared q dq by dt and 2I di by dt. Hence the equation becomes du by dt is equal to 1 by 2c into 2q dq by dt plus 1 by 2 into L into 2I di by dt is equal to 0. Next, I in the second term is replaced by dq by dt. Hence the equation becomes du by dt is equal to q by c into dq by dt plus L into dq by dt into d by dt of dq by dt is equal to 0. After simplifying this equation, we will get L into d squared q by dt squared plus q by c is equal to 0. This is equation number 1. When we solve this first equation, we will get the solution as Q is equal to capital QM cos omega t plus phi. We know that the equation for current, the Q in the numerator is replaced by what? The solution capital QM cos omega t plus phi. And the equation becomes d by dt of capital QM cos omega t plus phi. When you differentiate this bracket term with respect to the time period t, we will get I of t is equal to minus qm omega into sine of omega t plus phi, which is equal to minus capital Im into sine of omega t plus phi. Next, again we have to differentiate this equation with respect to time period t. We will get d squared I by dt squared is equal to minus capital Qm omega squared into sine omega t plus phi, which is equal to minus capital Im omega into cos omega t plus phi. When we put this equation in equation 1, we will get the angular frequency of LC oscillation as omega is equal to 1 by root LC. Next, we are going to discuss about how the magnetic energy and the electrical energy are varying with respect to the time period. Let us discuss about that. The electrical energy of LC oscillator can be written as UE is equal to Q squared by 2C, which is equal to capital QM squared cos squared omega t plus phi divided by 2C. The magnetic energy equation can be written as capital UB is equal to half Li squared, which is equal to capital QM squared by 2C into sine squared omega t plus phi. If the two energies are plotted with an assumption of phi is equal to 0, we will get the figure like this. This figure shows that the variation of the electrical energy and the magnetic energy with respect to the time period. From the graph, we can say that at any instant, the total energy is nothing but the sum of the electrical and the magnetic energy is said to be constant, which is equal to the value of capital Qm squared divided by 2C. The maximum values of the electrical energy UE and the magnetic energy UB are both is said to be capital Qm squared divided by 2C. When the electrical energy UE is said to be maximum, then the magnetic energy UB is said to be 0. Thank you students. Put your doubts in the comment box.